Hello, thank you for buying the Star Make at Home kit. This is Katie from the Glass and Art Studio, and I'm going to talk you through the process and all the different things that you need to do to make your stars. So the first thing is that within your pack you'll get some triangles. You need to give them a wipe over with some glass cleaner and a cloth. And this is to make sure that we don't get any devitification on the glass after it's fired. Just watch the edges. Go. As you can see, I've cleaned and glued the other stars over here so that you can see me decorate them. So I've got my first star here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of PVA. This is a PVA and water mix. You don't need a lot of glue because we need the glue to dry before it goes in the kiln. If it doesn't dry, it can leave a mark. But as long as it's dry, it will fire away. Burn off. So there we go. So I've made my star shape and I'm now going to add some decoration to it. So the first one I'm going to do is the rainbow star here with baubles on each point, and it's nice and simple really. You just put a little bit of glue on each corner, working your way around, and then you can decide which colour you put where. Now, as with all the make at home kits, it's completely up to you what design you want to do. These are just examples and it shows you what you'll get in your kit. So I'm now going to get the yellow bauble and put that on the first corner, and the orange. So I'm now going to add another bauble, and it's important to give these a wipe over as well. I've already done that. Because they've already been fired, they're a little bit more susceptible to going cloudy. But if they're nice and clean, they won't. So this one's a spring green and red opal. So the baubles are made by cutting very small squares of glass, and then as they're fired in the kiln, they go into little blobs. And the last one is a white opal. So as you can see, that's the first star there made. So I'm now going to go on to do the Stripy Star, and you can do this in any way that you want to. So on this one we've got red, yellow, pink, orange, green and turquoise. I've got slightly different colours here. If you'd like specific colours, let me know and I'll do my best to put them in your kit. So because I've got lots of stringers together on this one, I'm actually going to paint the top triangle with the glue so that they can stick. It gets a little bit fiddly when you're putting lots of stringers together. So I'm going to do a very thin layer of PVA. And then I'm going to start snapping my stringers and putting them down to the right length. So stringers can be snapped like spaghetti, but they are glass, so make sure that you don't point your fingers on the edge, as you can see there. So there's number one. I'm then going to go for a pink opal, and I did a fan effect for this one. Don't worry if it moves around a little bit. If you're doing this with children, it might be an idea to clean and glue the stars before they come along and make, because it'll be a little bit more stable for them. I'm going to go for a white opal. This one's emerald green. And we're using bullseye glass as always, which has amazing colours. And you don't need to be too precise with the stringers. You don't really want them hanging too much over the edge. So you can see that that one's hanging over. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Right there. And then the last one is a yellow. Like that. So that's the rainbow fan. So the next one I'm going to do is a little bit fiddlier. It's the green and red bauble with the star design in the middle. These baubles are aventurine green, so they were small squares of aventurine green glass, and they blobbed up into nice little baubles. This one is a little bit fiddlier, so if you don't feel comfortable snapping the stringers, maybe do a different design. And I'm going to add the baubles on first. There we go. So I'm now going to add glue to the centre of the star. Not too much, just enough to tack the stringer down. So there's my first piece of stringer. Now stringers can move, so might need a little bit of patience. But don't worry if they're not exact. Nobody minds that, I definitely don't. It's whether you mind it. So now I'm going to add a little bit more glue, just to make sure there's enough for putting the stringer on. So this is aventurine green stringer, so it's going to be nice and sparkly, slightly different to the one that I used on there. I'm going to give it a nudge with another stringer. And you definitely don't have to be as complicated as this one was. So I'm going to break 4 small pieces of red. There we go. Add a little bit more glue again, which is why it's important to add small amounts. Okay. So the stringers can move around. And I'm going to give it a poke. There we go, that's the other star done. I'm going to move that. Okay, so I'm now going to make the final star, which is this one here, and it's got the stringers around the edge of the triangle and then the red on each corner with the aventurine green frit ball in the middle. So the first job is to do the green stringer on that triangle. So I'm going to measure my aventurine green. I just want to take a little bit off. I'm going to do a bit of glue all the way around. I'm only gluing this bit first so that it doesn't dry. If I glued those corners, they could dry by the time I got to it. And then you're adding more glue than you probably need. There we go. Measure that one. And then the final piece of green. And as always, the stringers can move around a bit. If they do, don't worry about it. You can go with whatever design you like to go with. I'm now going to do the red on each one of the remaining triangles. So you need small bits. If you are under 16, you might need the help of an adult to get these small pieces. I'm going to put a bit of glue in each of the corners left. There we go. I'm going to put them on fairly loosely and then straighten them up afterwards, because they can get a little bit fiddly. I'm going to use another stringer just to poke them. There we go. And then the finishing touch is the glitter green frit ball in the centre. There we go. So as with all of the make at home kits, you need to wait 48 hours for the glue to dry so that nothing moves on the way back to me. And then I will fire them and add a fixing to the back of the stars with a ribbon so they're ready for you to hang on your trees.